Fortwell Solicitors. Yo, Ghana for you want English approach my muha. Ya sweady. Yenya emranimfo a wen akwadare wo emranimu a poto kasa mu ye kasa a lawyer for entimi nuanom mumyemfa ye immigration ensem nyina enko dan wo mo Fortwell Solicitors emranimu akuku drofo se watna ha che ombeboa wo ma wonsa kan wo krata na se wedi edro nso a eyom kokokra eba ni nipa setena mu ani adwuma mu nsem bia omudim akotene pa omu wo mre di mani pa bia na de enika wo mu mponi se no consultation fee.
Fortwell Solicitors always puts our clients' needs first. We specialize in all UK visa applications, detention and deportation cases, student and work points-based work permit applications from both UK and abroad. Fortwell Solicitors also deals with long residence and human rights applications outside the immigration rules. Don't wait till last minute. Fortwell Solicitors is located at
Unit 1, ground floor, Katrina House, 58 Clarendon Road, London, N80DJ. Nearest tube station, Tempark Lane and Wood Green. Overground, Hornsey Station. Buses, 41 to Archway and 144 to Maswa Hill. For more info, call 0203 3257 030. Call our 24-hour line on 0754 8701 011. Website www.fortwellsolicitors.com.
Opening hours Monday to Friday 9:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Thursday beyond so young Milton Keynes.
Fortwell Solicitors is regulated by SRA.
Fortwell Solicitors.
You are listening to GN Radio UK.
Baby biara wo biara me gidi se wo ho eye pa good morning yeda onyankopon ase ene dey so ye ka atiasefo ye ka ho bi se de wonim no nwedie ba akopa eba wa kwan so na ekyerkyere wo nsem efa eye immigration ho mansu bi apese otwe bia bibia wo hia lawyer bia no nwedie esi ho no mo se ye de esomwo eye ebna da biara ye ne Fortwell Solicitors ba wa kwan so eba ba besumo enti ene dey aye ebna day die na ya ba ye sa ba besumo se de ye no abre nyina no ene eye 26th of April 2022 se de woni no enche biara na ye de April akwakwa akugu na ya hye eye bosume foforo ase enti ene dey ya ba ne so de na ya ba aye ba besumo ene asema eda epononiti anase enkomo aye ba betwetwe eho na bia wo de akire wadwene bi so anase opese lawyer ekirikire mu ma ososo a eno so betimi ede aba no ene ye ba beka cohabitation ho ase na ye ka brofo kakraka we ni kukuru to hono ma age lawyer na betimi akirikire mu ede amaye esanse onkofo bebre o hono ma sebi omonim nkrofo eti a enye se omo ye kunu ma na so omo ye yere no ma na se bibisa eso omo eti bomu na ye be kirikire mu ede akọ esu ado akọ esukopa ma lawyer etimi akire sa word no se de ase esikire ne wo betimi ayafa ho ne betimi aboa wo se eba eye nkratasem ho ni nyina lawyer wa ha se no be yi ano amaye as usual me ne lawyer Quell ena ye ba beso midin Mama Len aha eye GN Radio UK ye be sorry dwumedie so 11 pepepe ebrese mu no me announce eye telephone lines no amaw na se opese ofrebusa question bi ana se nkomo aye bedi no wo ho adwenkyire bi so ana se opese obusa question bi so a wo de aba enu nti no me nse bre no me call na mama eye lawyer akwaba na ye di dwumedie no ahihye so oba so a mesro like na share efama ye so wo hwe o Facebook ana se YouTube Facebook teacher pa like na share efa my utie already no so ayema wakwaba tun safre wunua frɛ wadan for catcher ne sedwumadi na duru so on fa na fidie ne nto GN radio na wontie ena adwumadi a ye wo ede ema mo no me ma obi biara akwaba laya good morning.
Good morning, Mama Lane.
Hey, asa oni we trip pa.
This year make us out here, kakra.
Yeah, but who we trip but same say me fa ne sa.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, course na be besesa. But
yo, na nyamia do na nse won so ne no we chi kakra ntie bia. Technical for no be technical nyama na my.
Bank kakra. Mr. Watson, me pia me huna fache me hay fever bia so me mood and me ni nyina keka me rough.
Enya hwe this year the season I wo mu an no ntie bia se.
Lawyer Mr. Chia tie fo na afa yanku yanim.
Yo, me da se bebre anofa we nso de echia we tie fo nia and your mo hwe yen ewo Facebook live and YouTube ya echia munya anopa we se dia kan no e frame by Daniel Koi the Fortwell Solicitors. So and then the first time I will join here North London Ponzi and as a Wood Crane Station in Chenhua every Thursday so no legal surgery no Milton Keynes into say it was up at Timos episode here it with me arrange it now while me come one of the few solicitors firms free consultation and charge it for initial consultation only everyone now areas I specializing for immigration mainly immigration and asylum applications anything immigration from say yacho you to detention center and now say why application being refused now person we appeal and now so say business immigration or business be because of farm for number wow juma anything appeals bill applications be BFA immigration will be no buy of asudewa ebetimi apo kama there was kind of so apart from immigration also no employment law into the free discrimination issues be or redundancy issue be settlement agreement now per se when no employers and sign na which I ejumano ebetimi apo was kind of so litigation when you be a 3 months obi ajusi companies will be tia person would need an courts in Yamasano, so if it's in ejuma at the amount. Now, family, one of the areas that your sons so specializing in young ejuma debia all the time, you know, and then no topic I ever discuss and the family. And then you can't say we cohabitation agreement. When they hear cohabitation agreement, and now the time being as I will sign a cohabitation agreement. They can cohabitation. Normally, no, the kanyane ye say when me obi a boom. Obi beka say empna obi beka say we are just living together. Nimia no cohabitation. Believe it or not. And brain, I have come to the realization, say, so omo worry, na say our rejai eba, omo properties, ne assets, be omo sikasem, eba sabasanya, omo feel say, you know what, because on pay all those problems in internet, now we decided, say, so I men worry cry, media, you wait now, bomu keke, na, but, yes, you know, all the legal paper registry, Yama, HSA, Yawareno, thinking, say, that is the best solution for them to avoid problems. And Wareno, a day, mom, that's the main reason why I decided, said, no, and I ever discusses agreement in Hunsen because something amount for more decided on Britain together no if they had consider a bit me a poor intimacy cohabitation agreement basically no a legal arrangement and as a formal arrangement Obane Bema and as a microphone ome decide they say not together. Now, managing our finances together, no, they will put together into obehwe no na ya drafted document say simesi me no 8 na bill no water bill gas bill me na metua wo na obetua mortgage no and as wo na obetua rent no and as ye won kwala nso a ebia wo na obetua omo child care issues and as ebia after school issues bia or intino any living arrangement bia mo pese mo be ye no you try to put it together. And then when it comes to ebia bano say mo separate here mo sheda enko court to fight over properties near assets bia mo won intino and also yeah somewhere ebetimi putting it together intino cohabitation agreement in a formal arrangement that we expect many people to consider if they are not planning to get married. And as a mom planning say warena or then that is something that we will be looking at. Normally no you do it because you want to protect your assets, you do it because who protect ABA, who avoid the litigation costs. Believe it or not, Mama Len say conform me no HI and as I conform me no it's not together for a long time. Now finances because they have financial commitments together. Now if you decide they say best split trying to entangle that relationship can be very expensive and sometimes it can be very bitter and go through the courts and Kabu bro, lawyers grandpa we deal with it. We can appreciate how much expensive it can get into the idea of cohabitation agreements are very, very, very important. And it avoids some of these things. Now, question na minene discuss sa topic we and bra and I always and where more na omubetini enter into a cohabitation agreement. Like who can enter into a cohabitation agreement? Cohabitation agreement, normally in Kofumi and I'm and now 4 are deciding to say they will live together and put their finances together. So you will appreciate Nancy a dime wide okay. Intino ebimu ohonoma ebia nipa mienu omuntimi enkwache dime back. Okay. Intino ebi omuye miensa na omuye 4 normal but together. No more see yakwache dime we na yenya yetu rent no and yenya yakwato dime we ni nya yetu mortgage no. Intino those parties in Yabit say, okay, you best sign a cohabitation agreement so that it will encompass kwaya and as an arrangement na abom na internet baby mobile dream say and plan for and mobile they will enter into such agreements and as such arrangements but yes sir clearly you can see say even siblings it's me decided say yenisika inya ya debeto dan and yenisika inya ya be rent dan into inya ya but together na ya correct dan it's not together for that arrangement in the ground when can draft such an agreement because it may get to a stage one party may say again torn na maybe back because I person and then based on that we're not a so train it will see anymore and I say court now we are going to spend a lot of money through litigation. You can see all these scenarios first, you wouldn't have assumed, say, wait me at the agreement with, but clearly, our for and as a plan for they may consider getting together to draft some cohabitation agreement. And dancing. And we also able to say advantages being in a womb because we've talked about cohabitation agreements, we've talked about acquiring as a they may have to come together to draft such an agreement, but a whole advantage being in a war. The first advantage, and also the first reason my incophobia ever together to draft such an agreement. The fact say it avoids costs and uncertainty of litigation. Say a banner say go for me it's not together now almost separate. We want to be clear on what basis our separation will go. A crime benya yebeche sikano, a crime benya yebeche assets via yenya. does it mean say bank account enemy bank account if you pay 50-50 and that's a thing. All these things, it brings about uncertainties, and for that, you can avoid some uncertainties and any litigation costs. Say mobile court it avoids that. For instance, if you decided say you be a cohabitation agreement, performance and answer whichever parties that they want to get involved in, we can talk about say it's not fear or no. Now you decide to see a separate when they to your expenses for the fear. We can incorporate this in any agreement you ever drafted into payment of household and living expenses pending the sale of the property. Yet me design yama when you issue. And a quine bang in a value property. Why a value property? Believe it or not, Mama Line, if you are no in Grofumi, no, na 10 years, 15 years, and now saving 5 years together. Now, Ome decide they say almost separate ways. Little thing such as where never property in common. Na onfa value and to suni hu ahia ebeton ni bia achen anya ne chefano and no crowd put me the acquired eba and for that we can incorporate this in the agreements that we are drafting for couple and for the individuals now available and the tone assets ni we and as yes let's assets ni we are ahina wo beji I just yen say and sanya crop into the wait me war microphone about decide some kwakutina together no mo kwakoto property na omokoto no e bia na ba ko etua 20,000 now the other part etua 40,000 for deposits. Okay, you don't want a situation where our rejaiba and answer separation be eba ye beka see 50-50 because one party may feel say you've not treated them fairly. From the beginning of the transaction, we expect or we want to make sure say we've put that together. Say a banner say ye chai and I go separate ways. Wono ubenya 50%, wono ubenya 50-50, and as a 60-40. All that is agreed before the relationship starts. Very, very important, and as one of the advantages are the other thing we expect, and as people will benefit from going into cohabitation agreement, friend individual autonomy. Okay. So if parties enter into cohabitation agreement, it gives the BFN a flexibility and a freedom to organize financial affairs as they wish, both during the cohabitation and after the cohabitation. For instance, Obi Ohonoma, only na akutina ebieno. Time na ebi oba starting businesses. Time maybe also or investment, your auto bibi ewofia no so ebibi. That person do not want a situation where because or no tintino bia or no separate now wabeji assets and wabeji inyama finance and this agreement puts everything into perspective in such a way that even once the relationship starts, once things starts going on, and they are ever affecting assets and I say it gives that autonomy, say a maybe na all year and I say progressive career wise on show say obi babeche sa sikana extra income no babe nyana efines we are able to draft these things in such way. Even sometimes crampono say separation be na akwada ebemwa, we are able to incorporate a kwanya yebehwe akwala so sika sen yebema akwala. All these things are factors that we believe say we can incorporate into a cohabitation agreement to make sure say obia asumbede ebejuno for that we believe say it's very helpful. Then the final points are also regarding advantages and preservation of assets.
Okay.
See you say the bimu call into relationship obi ohonoma na wa warida in a way and previous marriage na okoware ebia na assets bia ye bia man ebia ojai aware no we lose a lot of assets and also we nyani sikata in a FA oba be enter into a new relationship per situation where say aware we are not a relationship we do not go well na obeji ni nyama if you see, people will prefer say they will preserve those assets now they had before coming into a relationship. And in so doing, one of the ways that we can do that is our preservation of assets. And one of the ways we can do that is cohabitation agreements, which will help those people. Grandpa, now we need inheritance. And sana oba being go into a relationship. Signing inheritance now we need person of beba na obiba be feelings say wa enyo de and many people will not appreciate the fact say bibi sana obo they will be losing out into and one of the ways a bit me preserve that is a draft is agreement way a day now. Before me moving on to disadvantages, because in your evening say your advantages in they are disadvantages being so ebe me say any questions be regarding so far what I have discussed now so because
the person of course now we are now the questions no ashishimu ni ebisa
but you with that say until say no disadvantages one of the key disadvantages of cohabitation agreements, ABBF and uncertainty about enforceability. Sometimes in force say if our rear and as a separation a bit more, will they be in a position to enforce agreements? In the time past, we have seen previous case be your friend Saturn and Miss Condiria. The courts talked about the fact that because of public policy, they did not want a situation whereby people will be going into cohabitation agreements. And they feel say it waters down the institution of marriage. A person go for worry rather than say they will decide say they are going to live together. Now we sign these agreements into now because of public policies they were not really they had reservations basically about this agreement. But the law commission has expressed the fact say even if we enter into a cohabitation agreement, the normal principles of contracts and as agreements you are at liberty to draw up a contract between the two of you. It should exist between the two. Between us, we have agreed say this is the living arrangement that we want. It should be possible, so that should be allowed. So what the law commission have said to counter uncertainty of enforceability is the fact say if the normal contractual principles exist, then it should be allowed. Normally, if Mumi and Noma sign a cohabitation agreement and there is no element of fraud, then it should be allowed. You can't say fraud. If you only partner equakuts now, who properties be a baby, but on person partner ebinyanti na would see na what cohesion say be sign a contract for best anyway. They can say there's an element of fraud. They don't want any element of duress. They can say duress what force partner say one be signing a child and as a relationship and now say when you have realized the person is in a vulnerable state, now what forcing the same person and signing some contract in your baby to say duress, undue influence, misrepresentation, and as a mistake, and all these things. These elements will be looked at, whether I said there was none in existence at the time or not. Drafted cohabitation agreement. Without that, idea everything cause a problem into the ultimate enforce it. When into the normally, what we even suggest, lawyers are more amount. Now, what drafted cohabitation agreement, we will put what we call severability clauses into Ubehwe no say bia ya drafted cohabitation agreement in between muni na muni amagya to say these are the terms and conditions are ever surrounding my relationship. Now judge and as a court find they say some parts of that agreement and enforceable. They will still say, okay, the rest should be enforceable. This is something that we need to understand. So it's very, very important to say if any parties decide, they say, yeah, but just a cohabitation agreement TB and sana yet now we will look into that and sana yeah the property ben ko shed them na mo amon church be them na mo nka say ma sign a cohabitation agreement because when you year if they do time and here kesier ankasa no you will realize there's no agreement in place and there's nothing in existence and when you need that document the most say it will not work for you. The second part is cost.
Okay.
Depending on the party's circumstances and the complexity of the terms agreed, entering into a cohabitation agreement can be an expensive process. Many cohabitees are almost enter into this agreement. Maybe in a process, say, be almost top property jointly. And the time are almost top property, they have already invested their money and finances into property, into already they are stressed financially. They are seeking they are questioning deposits for the property, which you understand duty, and then solicitors fees, into the seeker, into when you tell them, say, oh, Branian drafted cohabitation agreement you realize that the money is hard to come by. But you should understand, say, no matter how expensive getting a cohabitation agreement in place, it is still never more expensive than going through litigation to try to get your property back. And I say, we'll deposit our question back into the end. Something that we need to understand. And I say, listeners, need to understand. Then the final disadvantage that I want to mention before you come in, and the risk of relationship breakdown. Mama Len, let's bring this on a personal level. So, when you be a relationship, na dakro nipane sorry or Mama Len, sorry, but the agreement be aba. My yen signing way na me who say me properties na a war no. Yan she na say jaya. Oba be Jimmy properties in the brand. Yan ko sign this document. And we sure say one shall be body pan soon say and elder now person me sign this document.
Oba sign the name not just say why active.
Why active? There is the risk of relationship breakdown. When this topic comes up. Normally, you have now decided, say, obey BBC and you want to get this thing done. Now, to raise the topic, can be difficult. And some parties may not take it lightly. Even if they say, they won't trust in you now. Don't you believe in the longevity of this relationship, and you don't believe, say, it's going to be permanent? Already, you are thinking about the end of the relationship before we even start the relationship. And if you are not careful, you may have problems. So you need to be very tactful when raising it. That is another disadvantage of this processor. But say the most of the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Nobody goes into a relationship thinking, say, obey chai. Not me say, Obian go into a relationship saying, say, obey chai. It's just train papa no, train pony. So it is important you are able to have the discussion holistically with your partner and let the person understand the circumstances of entering into this. Into the beer circumstance may be different. Some people may be doing it because they are planning to go and buy a property together. And in such circumstances, sometimes it may be easier to have that discussion. But in a situation whereby nipa ba akodi ni sika akoto ewie na oba betini no ka che nipa na no mfa ni sika ambehye mu bia na nipa na twetwetwe no ho kakra and this is something that can be a problem. And also something that we need to be very careful. The other thing that and a question that popped up when we had a discussion about this cohabitation agreement was the fact that time being somebody may have to consider getting a cohabitation agreement. Normally, we say there is no time restriction when a cohabitation agreement can be signed. It necessarily say you have to sign the cohabitation agreement before you start the relationship. And it is not also, there's no restriction on the fact that you can sign a cohabitation agreement even after you've lived together for so many years, so many months. Unlike prenuptial agreements I discussed some weeks back, cohabitation agreements, they can be done at any time of the relationship. It can be done at the beginning, it can be done at the middle of it, it can even be done just before the relationship ends, so that you agree on ways and means mobile splitting. In such scenario, we may call it separation agreement, but it still does not fall or it's still not too much different from what we are discussing. There is something we call declaration of trust. Okay, and now say declaration of trust is something that some people would have come across, especially say only obi ekwakoto together jointly. Na mo worry na mo call mo lawyer who say ekwakoto dan. The lawyer may tell you say oh mubetimi I declare trust. So that you talk about your beneficial interest in that property at the beginning. So almost year conveyancing process now. A lawyer may discuss that issue with you. The problem that we have to understand is a declaration of trust and yet comprehensive enough, and it does not cover all these scenarios. Agreement, cohabitation agreement, will do for you. You can see clearly say there is an advantage of the cohabitation agreement over declaration of trust. The simple reason is we cohabitation agreement. We incorporate BBT say mortgage payment arrangement if Baku decided say Oberton property but what dear when you say Oberton, what do you do? All these things can be put together when doing cohabitation agreement, but you cannot do that with declaration of trust. Clearly you see say even if a lawyer raises our topic in the amount, now you have the knowledge of what we are discussing today. You can bring the topic up and to see say is this something that you can deal with, and is this something that they can help you with in terms of what we are discussing. I think say we have managed to talk briefly about this cohabitation agreement. If somebody is listening to us, go for questions, even if a topic and answer any different topic, we are more than happy to take questions at this stage.
Yabeda lawyer ase wasuguso awutie legal hour aha GN radio ye Fortwell Solicitors na etwetwe nkomo ebenada bia na ye ba wa kwan so ye di dwumadie eba na ya be kyerɛkyerɛ oniema ani so ama wani ada honomo enu nti eneda so de de batu mu no cohabitation said de wonim no lawyer akyerɛkyerɛ mu no nkyerɛkyerɛ mu no nyɛ bia woni obi ɛwɔ sexual relationship nko na bia ebeka se mu cohabitation and bibisa but then say nnuafo ne say de osi kyerɛkyerɛ mu no ni nyina no wobetimi enter into that agreement no na sabre me ma me kasa enye tententen me bie phone lines no atomu say opese ubisa question efa de ene lawyer akyerɛkyerɛ mu na ekwan eda hɔ ema wo say obefrɛ na lawyer ayi wo question no ano ama wo senye de ne lawyer kan no ne say question foforo na wo na pese lawyer ayi ano so mawa eno so ekwan da hɔ say wo de ebeba kai say ye be sorry dwumadie so 11 pepepe na ya sorry dwumadie so ntimi de line no to dwa de ama o say so opese wo frɛ na obusa question bi a ekire wo so anase opese lawyer yi ano mawa anase de na edi hu nkomo na frɛ esi mobile number 0778793998 eno no wetimi ama me WhatsApp call e de free ho wetimi a text wetimi a audio ni nyina mebo ama lawyer etie e de ama fabra 0778793998 0778793998 ode eba ebejibre na lawyer eyi question ni nyina ano e de ama fefefe anase fabra 0203286018 0203286018 so frɛ ba akona wonsa nka frɛ the other one no mainly mobile no frɛ onsa be kan intentem tino audio anase text message anase obefra ankasa no fabra 0778793998 entimi bibisa lawyer question 1 or 2 bi ansa na makoso minim say nana Berlin wabusa question bi mebisa lawyer amana yi ano de ama sabre ye chia mo amohwe e wo Facebook nyinara ni titru nkoma nana agima ye chia wo ye chia nana Berlin ye chia tili saso na mo amohwe nyina menhu din mo nyina no menye passia but me chia obi biara nti so question na fabra na lawyer enyi ya no enfama lawyer there we can say me say we cover all areas there but for the sake of obia afi na woti anase wanti asem ni yie no bibisa say me say cohabitant no yemfambra omo wo relationship mu ankasa bia sexual relationship mu ankasa say o start a ni gie ni ade na bia wo mfa biema bi ngugu akwan mu in the middle of that relationship no mu betimi a start akosa agreement na abrama anhyase bia man sign agreement bia but more as you go along no mu betimi ayana.
Oh yes, as you go along, something mubitimi aye kaya meka say a time over draft is agreement way, and as a time over sign this agreement, there's no restriction.
Okay.
Mubitimi aye agreement in the beginning of the relationship.
Oh,
Mubitimi in the middle of the relationship, even at the time relationship end. The parties can decide say sign it agreement way.
Okay.
It is very good in that sense to say we've explained the benefits of it. Just imagine say what relationship thinking say media men worry I'm not getting married. The reason why I'm not getting married is say in case say our rejai eba yeni what we call financial orders. The fact say more assets more properties Ghana assets maybe sikebia will be no pension grant these things get affected and sometimes people don't want that headache. They won't go for or my life have been turned around simply because of divorces. Incidents say, warrior, they don't want to do it. So they believe that cohabitation is the best solution for them. What they don't understand is even if multi together, cohabiting together, you are living together as in a relationship, not separation, but still not the person can make that way request or beneficial interest in the assets that you already own before they came into the relationship. Now, my more example, if only now you have entered into a relationship with a gentleman, now whilst Otto Abia Bob Eshi Ofie Mama Len Abia Wonfa we table so say okosabo we ma be ma na sabo and now so say Abia painting be above so Ofie honoma sada na Abia wa bre o see darling and patch o nye painting man or ye painting ye be we keep receipts no relationship no end e o say Jack won pemi bi ma say we never na feed fie ha say na ko di ba make just say na me so crampo me beneficial interest or property me ma boa ma maintain fie
no ka me gina kunya ne so ate ahwe
you understand the person has contributed to the maintenance of that property whilst living there. So even though the person is not paying mortgage, and I said the person is not paying rent towards the property, but the person has paid AB grandpa bills because just a dining here. So you have told him say to your mortgage, and if you did to your bills, they made to your mortgage. But the person will tell you say because he paid the bills, you had enough money to pay for the mortgage. For that reason, he's got beneficial interest. We should not assume say for the fact that we are not married, we are protected. No. If you want to protect yourself, then you have documents like this to agree on. We've already talked about prenuptial agreements. Prenuptial agreements, documents and as agreements that we will normally prepare and send Obani Bema or Mawari. However, this way now, come once and we almost made this as almost worry they want to be living together.
All right. Lawyer, meda was a power on Tremu now the amaye, and Tinacha say, ade a obe advice say, senya warrior na woni ni pano, someone warrior, yes, mutimi enter into this agreement, ubenyan faso, a dear free so.
Yes, very, very important. I mean, being to me, emphasize on how important it is. The reason why this topic has come up is increasingly, we are seeing these problems in our community. Okay. From time to time, you take a topic just like that. We take a topic because we see a problem. We see, say, in community, you see, many people have been established in the UK. Sebe first, nankrofobits na say, and they decide say, oh, they see few Ghana into say, they don't really invest here. They don't buy assets. They don't buy properties. All they do is they rent their accommodation and then they are okay. But we've seen them and Crawford are getting assets. If you more need assets, have things like pension. Okay. Now almost every organization need to provide pension, private pension, unless one casa will opt out. And for that reason, people have assets, and this is going a long way to affect people when relationships break down. Very, very important. If witness in the past you have never thought about getting such an agreement, this is the best time for you to do so. And we will encourage people say, this task on. Okay.
Lawyer, me person me busa say, sa agreement yemienu ye betimi ankasa sensan anase say ye deba lawyer homa lawyer e stamp siso anase omoboa ye anase ya de a me sorry ya metimi aye.
Very good question we bisa Mama Lane. Say na me boss na me catch all say. So when you careful na one draft sa document we a year. Okay. Then the issue of enforceability may come up. When a partner say you need to enforce this document and as a this agreement, you will have issues. In order to avoid the fact that time now soon we hear the document the most, now won't need use. We always recommend seek legal opinion and as a legal advice. Let me give you another example and another reason into you need that. Normally, don't see a drafty cohabitation agreement for you. What one lawyer advice okay. Say Bema na ebe me lawyer Daniel. Na me lawyer Daniel me draft this document the man area na or the command the partner na. The partner is expected say onoso be another lawyer. Okay. Now we read the amount. The reason why we do that is that we don't want a situation whereby at the end of it all or Banebeka say, let me name at the frontier na me sign. And now say lawyer na or yema and also yema beman or that me internet me sign a document. So it is very, very important you do it well. Say more that them na mummy no more sign documents. At the end of it all, they can say oh, who share them on and who influence the other party they say on signing documents. The other chair they say who no one sign documents and I fear how better have you and then when the time comes, issue to do with contracts and make up once and say principles of contracts it needs to exist. The other party may accuse you of undue influence. So that and as of force say so one sign a document that you are proposing now. So to fulfill. Meanwhile, no, so that time, no, maybe I have vulnerable, maybe grandpa no fire phone or baby. Meanwhile, you are telling him so one sign this hard document, or telling her say one sign a document now, between if you feel. And for that reason, the person will sign the document because of vulnerable position. So it is very, very important we avoid these things. You know, lawyers, not just one lawyer to draft it and advise the first party, then another lawyer to advise the other party, you know, so that Mumi and Unia will sign, having been advised and fully informed about the application of what you are signing.
Okay. One last question, and sana me de Berlin question no abano. Says enkwala ebe mu a mo kwa sign ya sa agreement no e cover enkwala ne so ana.
Oh yes, say no. If you are planning, say mubewu akwala, we can incorporate a kwanya ebesha akwala no, and now say there's a separation a kwanya ebesha akwala no. So internationally possible, we can inculcate and we can include the maintenance of that child into it. If you are no grandpa living arrangement of sa akwala no. You can say with child arrangement order, they will the big account. There's a flexibility. It gives you that flexibility to arrange and agree all these things without necessarily going to waste money, giving it to lawyers or judges, and as they're going to court, going through litigation. That is the whole point. That's the purpose of this system. We believe say a amount for.
That lawyer say well introduce what they amaya for a cohabitation agreement no. Afa me call a Nana Berlin question about say hi Mama Len, please can you ask lawyer requirements when you are applying for indefinite leave to remain 5 years as parents roots, but I'm not the primary carer. Lawyer Mpacho ni question ni wait me a yanomana.
You say a ban requirements for 5-year parent router, we expect certain things. Okay. One, so when I hear private, meaning what he's talking about, say, switch it to 5-year parent routes, and as switch it to Zambrano, whereby they'll give you a limited leave for 5 years. But let's assume, for the purposes of the question, they say, switch it to parent roots 5 years, which is 2.5 years twice. In such circumstances, we expect say we'll be meeting the financial requirements. Say person will switch it to 5-year route. Financial requirements becomes very, very crucial. Without meeting our financial requirements, and the financial requirements, 18,600 per annum. With salary, we need to be earning 18,600, which works out to about £1,550 a month before tax, which is the gross. Sometimes, it can be a little bit difficult putting together the evidence because they are very strict on what evidence you need to provide in terms of 6 months pay slip, 6 months bank statements. If you miss one statement, if you miss one thing, you are going to have problems. And, that's something that you need to understand and get properly. Another requirement is English language requirement. You need to meet our English language requirements. There's one pass English test. I have seen situations whereby other lawyers like I just say, even if 10-year roots in the grandpa so we English language test. And yes, sir. And sometimes people don't understand all these things. But once you want to instruct us for us to help you, you go into details, look at your personal circumstances, see what you can provide and what you cannot provide. And it's even more complicated if you are thinking of getting to be a friendly fee waiver. That's a some person with home office fees, NHS fees, and then it can get a little bit complicated. But Berman now send this a question. Just get in touch and I'll be more than happy to say give them our personalized advice. Voice more down kakra.
Okay.
I just think
What me menka?
Yeah, abaka cry.
Good. Could you for so say opese who say more about shares say or to shares obey here lawyer woman and say obey me direct no and as advice obey me the man for shares or be to shares
O there be say opese will talk shares we don't need to where you don't need a lawyer to advise you. Normally, no, obey here financial advisor or non ABA or advise you on the implications. Yeah, the lawyers here they don't get involved in things like that. And normally, what I would advise you is say to be or regulated by the FCA. Until we say or a financial conduct authority, regulate you and they can advise you on what to do.
Okay. Yo, lawyer, I better was a pa, I was here, brand continue, major my lawyer say, or cry, and I said, your person bonnet of the buyer on for a lawyer, last year,
Yo, to conclude, it seems say a banner. We've talked about family issues, but say family issues, only arises after waiting and resolve it with immigration issues. Without resolving your immigration issues, you cannot talk about family matters too much. See immigration or because and non the bread and butter of our community. And for headache be brave. So we keep talking about it all the time. And a few changes that have come up regarding family life applications, regarding private life applications. The fact that Home Office for our withdraw immigration rules pertaining to that. The exciting or the best news in town at the moment, in Kuala are already 7 years from June. 20th of June going, they can make an application for indefinite leave to remain straight away rather than doing 2.5 years. There are exciting things going on in the immigration front, even though we are not talking about it. But we also understand that Home Office for have made it very difficult for Omunya criminal convictions, for them to get indefinite leave to remain. For instance, we will be our limited leave. Now we need now criminal conviction. Now will sentence near more than 12 months, and they've made it impossible for you to ever get indefinite leave to remain in the UK. This is something that I know we will have to make time to discuss into detail because very crucial. But were few minutes, 2-3 minutes, I'll mention it briefly. Almost less than that, indefinite. We'll sentence near less than 12 months, indefinite, within the 5 years of that sentence being in place. More and more, we see the Home Office being more difficult with foreign criminals. They want to make things much difficult for them to regularize their stay and asset to get their indefinite and get their British citizenship. In the past, we've talked about global mobility visas. Business. We've talked about the innovator visa. We've talked about the startup visas. We are still open to business for people who want to come into the UK through those routes. If you are here, you are listening to us for the first time, maybe you are coming on holidays in the UK and you are considering, these are so many options available to you currently and not previously available. As time goes on, that we come back to the topic of immigration, we'll be discussing those issues. Now, a net topic and also we run fixed fee arrangements for people who want cohabitation agreements, people who want prenuptial agreements, postnuptial agreements, and separation agreements. All these things are yabubosuno may depend on your circumstance and when you need it. If you are thinking of getting married, if you are thinking of coming out of a marriage or thinking of getting into a relationship, thinking of coming out of a relationship, please don't do or move into it without having a word with a lawyer to discuss your personal circumstances, especially a month while Bibi Kakra said a woman, if you've come here and you've worked so many years, now okwakofa oyire and ukunu if you Ghana aba, it's very, very important say you consider the option of getting some of these things done, because you don't want a situation where PPBC because of that. It's very, very important. I think say a ho in a net topic in ABC and go for more questions. People who have watching it when I go to calling. We are available 9:30 to 5:30 Mondays to Fridays. If you prayer, we'll be more than happy to say you better answer a question via Obia at the amount.
Okay. You better a lawyer I say aha near Mediano ABC and Yakasi Monity. Nanyame Adman or Chesene, Evesaba, Nayaba Babesum lawyer numbers no a tra a gu screen no so ubetimi afa besa S numbers ne subiem at the amount say fre Fortwell Solicitors mobile 07944 976161 07944 976161 and I say a landline or an office line of 0203 325 7030 0203 325 7030. Friend a bookie appointment in a kai say initial consultation no free. Nyame ya adom na ode ye nkwache ya ebinada send na beba na ya baba be sumo ewo legal hour dwumedie su ebiem na entimi a new question so amawa next week fabra na lawyer eyi ano enfama aha ene edi obesi eni akra won ya ka say have a lovely day lawyer. Thank you so much. Nyame ya adma ye be share next week.
Yo, me da say, and it's here for us. Bye.
We are talking before Romeo. Lydia Champon, or ya talking to you, Lydia. A real penny facing, or ya Lydia Champon, or ya talking to you, Lydia. A real penny facing, or ya talking to you.
You are listening to GN Radio UK.
This is GN Radio UK.
Yo, Ghana for you want English approach my muha. Ya sweady. Yenya emranimfo a wen akwatare wo emranimu a poto kasemu ye kase a lawyer for entimi ne no mo yemfa ye immigration ensem nyina enko dan wo mo Fortwell Solicitors emranimu akuku drofo se watna ha che ombeboa wo ma wonsa ka won krata na se wedi edro nso a eyom kokokra eba ne nipa sitenemu eni adwuma mu nsem bia omudimu akotene pa omu wo mre di mani pa bia na de enika wo mu mponi se no consultation fee.
Fortwell Solicitors always puts our clients' needs first. We specialize in all UK visa applications, detention and deportation cases, student and work points-based work permit applications from both UK and abroad. Fortwell Solicitors also deals with long residence and human rights applications outside the immigration rules. Don't wait till last minute. Fortwell Solicitors is located at
Unit 1, ground floor, Katrina House, 58 Clarendon Road, London, N80DJ. Nearest tube station, Tempark Lane and Wood Green. Overground, Hornsey Station. Buses, 41 to Archway and 144 to Maswa Hill. For more info, call 0203 3257 030. Call our 24-hour line on 0754 8701 011. Website www.fortwellsolicitors.com.
opening hours Monday to Friday 9:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Thursday Beyonce Young Milton Keynes.
Fortwell Solicitors is regulated by SRA.
Fortwell Solicitors.
You are listening to GN Radio UK.
Obi yo nane nyamfuni yo oyaka kwenti yo oh
You are listening to GN Radio UK.
Oyaka kwenti yo